What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in to talk about the episodes that are going to be launching in 2024. And as Bungie have said, this is going to be their new way of delivering content between major expansions, essentially replacing the season model. And there are a handful of differences between episodes and seasons that we know about already. In this video though, we're going to talk about the roadmap and calendar for seasons this year, as we finally have details about when the first episode will start, some of the connectivity between that and the final shape itself, as well as technical details around the artifact, season pass, and leveling. Plus we get a little more detail about some of the content that we're actually going to see inside of episode drops. And so we're going to break it down in the video, guys. As always, I hope you find this one interesting, and if you do, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. But without further delay, let's get into it. And so the first thing we should mention is that Katarina from Bungie did confirm that the episode story, which is called Echoes, will begin in week 2 of the final shape. So final shape itself launches on June 4th. Once the raid and that story has been kind of concluded, on June 11th, we'll get the beginning of Echoes. And looking at the original roadmap that Bungie shared for episodes, of course the dates are incorrect because there's been a delay for the final shape, but the Echoes card lists the inclusion of a new exotic weapon and mission, and then we'll be seeing 3 different acts, each of them lasting for 6 weeks, containing new quests, story, activities, new weapons, as well as artifact mods, pass ranks, rewards, and armor. And essentially we should get an infusion of those things every 6 weeks. But given the delay for final shape, if we base the timeline on the original calendar, our best guess is that Echoes will last between June and September, and then the second episode, Revenant, will be between October and January, and Heresy will run between February and May of 2025. Now those specific dates aren't confirmed by Bungie yet, but those periods are essentially identical to the original roadmap, just moved along a few months. But in terms of heading into the first episode, Katarina from Bungie also confirmed that we'll get progression on our artifact and season pass from day 1 of the final shape launch. So while new activities, episode-specific rewards and things like that won't drop until week 2, the components around the artifact and season pass will immediately be available at the launch of final shape. And in relation to artifact bonus power, there are some changes which will affect episode content as well. And Bungie have said the way we earn bonus power from the artifact is staying the same at its core, but they're better balancing it to offer a more meaningful and rewarding progression given other upcoming changes. And with the additional time offered by each episode, we've increased the number of weeks with seasonal challenges. So at the minute we have 10 weeks of seasonal challenges, but we're going to get more when episodes drop. Plus Bungie will be buffing the XP rewards that we get from them. They do say though that we need to make some adjustments to XP requirements for artifact bonus power levels, and the goal for the rebalance is that they want actively engaged players to attain similar artifact levels achieved by the end of a season, and they want artifact power to remain a rewarding pursuit. So that's definitely worth knowing in relation to episodes. There are further details though here about how some of the rank systems and things will work. So Bungie said episodes are a big shake-up of the actual content delivery for Destiny 2, and instead of 4 seasons, 2024 will see 3 larger content-packed episodes named Echoes, Revenant, and Heresy, with the first 3 episodes being focused on the consequences and the aftermath of the final shape, and one of the narrative goals being to tell a standalone story that's easy to follow even if you haven't played the previous content, but also that episodes will deliver more frequent story beats compared to seasons, so players can expect to experience new bursts of storytelling throughout the acts. Each episode will be split into 3 acts, and each act will launch around every 6 weeks with a new story element, new quests, rewards, and more. And overall, the first act of an episode will feel packed with a big offering of new stuff to chase, and the second and third acts will expand the episodic experience with more activities, story, rewards, and new additions to rank rewards such as exotic ships. In terms of the rollout for things like ranks and rewards though, Bungie have said on top of the new story planned for each episode, each one will have a new exotic weapon and mission, but also they'll have new legendary weapons, additional artifact perks, and 200 pass ranks split across the 3 acts. So we're going to get twice the amount of season pass ranks, and Bungie say the first 100 ranks and their rewards will be available during the initial act of each episode, and the second and third acts will each have 50 more ranks, with there being a similar idea for artifact perks. So the first act will have 25 available and establish a particular meta, and then the 2 following acts will unlock another 5 perks each to make existing builds grow even further. But they finally say the 3 episodes launching in 2024 are included in the final shape and annual pass, while the standard edition includes the active episode at the time of purchase. On top of that though, each episode will be available separately in-game via the store for 1,500 silver. And so there we go. While we don't have a much better look at the specific content for each of the episodes, that gives us a good idea about how some of the stuff will roll out. Bungie have also provided images for each of the episodes that we get in the background of the roadmap. So of course, Echoes shows a Vex enemy right here. So obviously the Vex will be the sort of key players in that, with Revenant being more focused around the Scorn, based on what we can see at least. And then finally there is Heresy, which is obviously going to be more Hive focused. And in terms of loose dev commentary about the goal for episodes, devs have said that speaking for the narrative team, we hear the audience loud and clear that the structure of story may have become predictable, even if the story quality is still high. And we're working on a number of things right now that we can't explicitly share, but that involves changing up the structure so that we can pleasantly surprise you guys more frequently in the future. And they've spoken about the repeated structure of seasons and how it gives Bungie a baseline to follow to create content more easily, but at the same time, the negative effect of that. And one of the devs said, when you create a framework for how content should be made, it makes it easier to produce that content quickly because everyone's on the same page, but it can also be predictable because everyone's on the same page. So injecting more variability into those frameworks is something that we've been talking and learning about. And they finished by saying we've identified that across multiple disciplines, the main danger of these frameworks is that they become predictable. And we talk frequently about surprises and delights, and it's something that comes up as terminology and discussions about what we're planning for surprises and delights, making sure that we've covered that player expectation. So changing the format in the way that Bungie are with episodes definitely is a response to feedback over the past couple of years. I think most players are also excited to see a different framework set up here, and hopefully that will make seasonal style content in Destiny more exciting, but only time will tell. For today though guys, that's what we have to round up, so a few extra details right there, and a general better idea as to when we can expect the content drop from episodes throughout the next year. Obviously we will get more information about them from Bungie before the first one launches, so keep it locked and loaded here on the channel, get subscribed, and turn on notifications if you want to keep up to date. Otherwise, let us know your thoughts on episodes down in the comment section. And if you have enjoyed the video, a like rating really helps us out on the channel as well. Otherwise though, cheers for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.
What's really important about episodes is that it's a really big shakeup to what we've been doing. Instead of providing 4 seasons a year, you are going to get 3 larger episodes. And so the first 3 episodes in this coming year are called Echoes, Revenant, and Heresy. It's coming right after the final shape. And the theme for the year is going to be all about the consequences and aftermath of the final shape. I think what's really the cornerstone of the episode model that we're building is the 3-act structure. The acts act as these anchors for us to introduce new weapons, new artifact mods, new activities. There's going to be new missions coming around the core. There'll be new story moments in every single one of these acts. We're actually providing more cinematic styled experiences throughout the final shape year and the episodes with it than any of the seasons we've ever developed before.
These new stories are actually playable as standalone. Like each episode is something you can experience, whether you've been playing Destiny for 10 years or this is your first one.
You're going to be able to basically enjoy them in any order you want to.
I think the opportunity with this big epic moment is that we get to innovate the game. We get to move the game forward.
It's all about change frequently. It's all about deeper story moments. It's all about more weapons, more loot, more often. And it really provides the team with a platform to go much deeper into the themes and fantasies and story of any individual episode as compared to the seasons you know of today.